welcome to the reading vlog where I go to Walt Disney World. Our flight was super early in the morning, so I had to get up at 2 a.m. and we drove to the airport and got all checked in, but overall it was not too bad of a flight experience once the fact that it was 2 a.m. settled in. But I was reminded that I don't really like going on airplanes, but it was worth it to get to the destination of Walt Disney World. I decided I'm going to just do all of this vlog as a voiceover to show you all the places I went, because I didn't really speak in any of the clips because I didn't want to be that person that was vlogging in Walt Disney World. But I really enjoyed getting there. It wasn't too bad. It was a pretty easy ride. If you didn't know, my sister is currently working in Walt Disney World, so this was a trip to visit her as well as visit Walt Disney World. I haven't been since I was a kid, so this was really exciting to get to go to a Disney park for the first time in quite a while. I went to Disneyland a few years ago, but this was my first time in Disney World in like almost 10 years, I think. This was the hotel we stayed at. It was so nice. I really enjoyed this hotel. This was my outfit of the day. We ended up going to Magic Kingdom this night, so we didn't spend the whole day there, but it was nice to just get a couple hours in. I wore my Loki ears that my sister had gotten me from Magic Kingdom, and we got to do the monorail to get into the parks. I'll be honest, the situation to get into Magic Kingdom's kind of a nightmare, but once we were in and parked and walked in, it was just absolutely magical. It was pretty busy. I believe this was a Thursday night, but I was just so excited to see the castle. I do have my Loki ears on backwards in that clip, whoops. And we did get to go on quite a few rides. This is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. We had stopped at the Starbucks, just had a lot of fun hanging out in Magic Kingdom. I think that's actually one of my favorite parks. We also got to go on the Haunted Mansion ride, one of my absolute favorites. We went on Splash Mountain during the fireworks and got a really beautiful view of the fireworks. Actually, we didn't watch any of the fireworks show specifically. This was the only bit of fireworks we saw, but it was pretty cool to see from the top of the Splash Mountain ride, which is another one of my favorite rides. So after Splash Mountain and actually managing not to get too wet on that ride, we headed over to Space Mountain, and that was a really fun one. I am not a big roller coaster person, but this one is one I can definitely handle, and I just love the vibes of this place. And afterwards, we tried Speedway next door, which was pretty fun. It's a nice slow little ride, but it has some really pretty views. The next day started with some Mickey-shaped waffles at breakfast, and we went ahead and got ready to go to Hollywood Studios in the morning. I'm wearing a Haunted Mansion shirt I got off Etsy and my Loki ears once again. Hollywood Studios is probably my favorite park. I just love the ambiance, and it has my favorite ride, the Tower of Terror. We started the morning off with a frozen lemonade and this 50th anniversary themed Mickey brownie, and then headed over and saw this little Lightning McQueen car show, which was actually pretty cute to see, and then went to my favorite ride, the Tower of Terror. Sadly, we only got to ride this once. Usually I like to ride it as many times as possible because it is my favorite, but I was glad to even get on it once. And then when we were walking over to Toy Story Land for lunch, we actually ran into this little parade and got to see some pretty awesome Pixar characters. My favorite is probably seeing Sully or maybe Jessie. I can't decide. Our poor Jessie here, her like cow print part of her pants kept falling off her boot, and her attendant had to keep trying to fix it, and it just wasn't staying. But the character played it off really well. She was just like stomping around, pretending like she was frustrated with it, just like Jessie would as a character. So it was pretty cute to see. So after this little parade, look, Buzz is waving at me. I went over to this, I don't know what they call it, like Pixar Land. I know in Disneyland it's Pixar Pier, so I don't know if it's just like Toy Story Land in Disney World, but we went to eat lunch there at this little Toy Story themed restaurant. It was okay. It was like a sandwich I could have made at home. But next we went to my favorite, Star Wars Land. I had so much fun. We got to see Rey and Kylo Ren and Chewie, and it was just so cool. And we got to go on the 2 new Star Wars rides, Rise of the Resistance and Smuggler's Run. There's BB-8 looking adorable. I loved the rides. I loved the ambiance there. I wish we'd gotten to eat in Star Wars Land. I want to do that next time. This is part of one of the rides where all the stormtroopers are, which is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. This is part of the Rise of the Resistance ride. It was such a fun, like magnetic track. Really, really fun. Definitely recommend Star Wars Land. And here I also bought a like replica of Rey's lightsaber. I wanted to show it to you in this vlog, but I had it shipped home because it wouldn't fit in my suitcase, and I haven't gotten it back yet. But next, after Star Wars Land, we went and tried this new ride they have in Hollywood Studios called Minnie and Mickey's Runaway Train, I think. Had a lot of fun with that. I got to actually trade a couple pins in Hollywood Studios, and I bought a couple new ones as well, the 50th anniversary and the Tower of Terror one. And then we hopped on the Skyliner, whatever this thing is called, over to Epcot. At this point, we were all exhausted. We probably should have just skipped Epcot, but we wanted to see all the parks, and we were just here for the weekend, so we kind of had to squish everything in. But we took the Skyliner, whatever it is, and hopped over to Epcot. We landed in France and walked through some of the World Showcase. I'm going to be honest, World Showcase is kind of a waste of time unless you're stopping to eat all the food, and I didn't really want to do that. But we were able to see some cool stuff. This is, I don't remember, Germany maybe? And then we ate dinner in China. I chose the restaurant for dinner, and this was actually pretty good. The only part of Epcot that I really, really liked was going on this new Frozen Ever After ride. It was so cool to see Elsa and like hear Idina Menzel singing Let It Go. I absolutely adored it. It was so much fun. Then we went down into Mexico, which was actually pretty cool to see. There's this restaurant down there that like looks over one of the water boat rides, and it would be really cool to get reservations to that if we ever could. And then we went on Test Track, which was a way faster ride than I remember it being, but it was a lot of fun. And I wanted to go on the ride inside of the Epcot ball. I can't think of what it's called, but I just really like that ride, and I love looking at the Epcot ball from up close. The next day, at this point we are all so tired we want to literally die, but we went to Animal Kingdom. We first stopped by the Joffrey's little coffee shop thing, which I'd never tried before, but it was pretty good. I got a smoothie, I think, actually. But we went to Animal Kingdom, and I really love this park. This is the park my sister works in. I just love the ambiance. All the theming in this park is just so great. So I had a lot of fun walking through, and we had lunch at Flame Tree Barbecue, which was probably the best meal I had while here, to be honest. And we were able to see this Kite Tales show that they have right now. We saw the Lion King version. There's also a Jungle Book version. It was so cool. I didn't expect, when my sister said there were giant kites, I was imagining like regular kites, not like full character, these huge kites. So it was really cool to see. You see the Everest ride in the background. But I got the salad here and some French fries, and it was absolutely delicious. Next, we just wanted to do some of the safari stuff in the park, look at some of the animals, so we headed back there. I don't remember the name of literally any of these animals, so but I really enjoyed the safari part. I think it's one of the coolest things that Disney offers, especially just being part of Animal Kingdom. It's like I don't know, 30-minute ride or something. This was the zebras we saw, which I think was so cool. It seemed like I could just reach out and touch the zebra if I wanted to, so it was really cool to see. And then we also saw some giraffes next. We saw these little, I don't know, antelope, deer. I don't know what any of the animals were called. But they were pretty cute looking, and they were hanging out by the giraffes. There was like a whole family of giraffes, and they were just all so cute. I think she said something about like these being a species of giraffe that had like not such distinct spots, like they were more blended. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't know there was more than one kind of giraffe, but they looked pretty cool. And one of them, I think that shorter one there, was actually a baby. And then this was part of the elephant enclosure, and it was really, really cool to see them so up close. I think she said this was the male herd that were just hanging out by themselves, but they were just so cool to see. Then there were these creatures. Again, couldn't tell you what they were called. They look like they're related to zebras, but I can't remember. And then I tried Dole Whip for the first time, and it was pretty good. Way too much pineapple juice, if you ask me. But then we were actually able to see Mickey and Minnie, even if it was from far away. They were driving through the water in Animal Kingdom. We went on a Bug's Life, and we also went on the dinosaur ride. Next, we went to the fairly new land of Pandora, which was pretty fun. I really enjoyed this like boat ride. I think it's called Flight of the Navi or something. And then there's also the other new ride, Flight of Passage, and this is called River, not whatever. We went on Flight of Passage. That one was really weird. I didn't really care for that ride, but I liked this just like boat ride. The other one was like a bike and like a 3D screen. It was really weird and uncomfortable, if you ask me. And then we went on Everest, which was so much fun. And then we ended up having dinner in Disney Springs this night after Animal Kingdom, which I do not recommend. Disney Springs is an absolute nightmare. There were so many people. I hated every second of it. And the restaurant we went to was not very good. It had a number in it. I don't remember what it's called. But it was cool to just see it for the first time. And then breakfast at the hotel and back on the airplane back home. And it was exhausting, but I had so much fun. The flight back was pretty easy, and we were able to get home and get some rest because we were all exhausted. I think it was probably too much to do all 4 parks in one weekend, but I'm glad that I got to see everything and just visit the parks for the first time in so long. I did have a lot of fun, and I got lots of merch that I was going to show in this vlog, but some of it is still in the mail because I had some of it shipped home. I got a Mickey Mouse like tie-dye shirt. I got a Marie from the Aristocat sweater. I got a Belle hat, my lightsaber, and some new ears and some pins for my lanyard, but I will show that in a reading vlog at a later date. Other than that, I hope you liked this video. Disney is so full of magic. Like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!